Is over, I'm sorry. I got another note or two I can give you, but I'll tell you what. The news is over, and we will get on with the next part of the program, which is a public service announcement for you, and then we're going to have the geezer, and he shoots from the hip, Mort Flexer, and then we will have the master fisherman in Chautauqua County, Don Pituch, who's going to tell you how to catch a fish. He spits in the road and he pulls a trout out of it. This is for you, public service announcement.
Alzheimer's disease, if left unchecked, will strike millions, including baby boomers, their children, and grandchildren in the coming years. As a scientist studying Alzheimer's disease for the American Health Assistance Foundation, I'm well aware that continued research is our only hope for finding a cure. Call 1-800-437-2423 or visit ahaf.org for free publications on Alzheimer's. Learn what you can do to help battle this deadly disease.
Never run out. Okay, here we are, Mort Flexer. You're on, Mort.
Good morning, Reed. Good morning, Don, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what did it, Reed, but something you said started me thinking that I'm into my 31st year living in Westfield. It's tough to accept. Can I be that old? Don't answer it, Reed. But I must say, if anyone living in this area does not realize that they're living in one of the loveliest sections of New York State, they're out of their mind. I know I've said something like this before, but I can't get over the feeling. It is the most wonderful place I have ever lived, without question. It was apparent when I first came here that people were nicer than any other place I'd lived. The countryside is beautiful. We're on a fabulous lake. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in heaven. And you need to feel the same way I do. Be thankful we are in heaven. Reed, thank you.
Okay, Mort, well said. There's a reason why all these tourists come up here. And of course, this time of year, it's absolutely gorgeous because all the trees are on fire. They turn yellow and bright red and orange, and oh, what a sight when you drive through the hills. I do it just every day just to revitalize my soul. And of course, we have millions of tourists that come up here. You know, the population, somebody told me, is 130,000 in Chautauqua County, but during the tourist season, it grows to be 100 million people come here. Or something like that. Maybe that's a slight exaggeration, but a lot of people come up here. This is a very, very active, wild place in the summer with all the tourists, especially with Chautauqua Institute, they tell me. It's not to be called institution. It's not an institution where the funny people go. Okay, we got with us Don Pituch. He's an old friend, and he's been on regularly. He is a master fisherman. He knows how to do it. He goes out and hauls in his limit every time. And he's going to talk a little bit about fishing and how to get a fish on Lake Erie, how to succeed. You know, it's easy enough to take a boat out there and fool around and drink beer. But when you come back in, you don't have any fish. You got to know how to get the fish. Also Lake Chautauqua, which is a very popular place, and there are a lot of little other lakes around here. We're so blessed with these gorgeous lakes. Anyway, enough said. I want to put you on the air here, Don, and I want you to just tell us a little bit. First of all, whatever brought you to Chautauqua County?
My wife.
Your wife?
She lived in Ripley, so we got married. I stayed in Ripley, and
where did you haul in from?
I grew up in Wattsburg, just right across from the state line, really. So I've always lived close to New York State, so it's pretty much a local boy.
Yeah, well, it's you certainly know your fishing now. First of all, you told me that oftentimes you fish in Pennsylvania. You're right on the border in Ripley, right?
Yeah, so for me, I fish out of Northeast a lot with my boat because I'm 3 miles from the marina. So, just the drive alone is worth, saving the money of buying a PA license, which, a non-resident license is going to cost anybody more.
Yeah, well, here in New York State, they scalp them alive.
Well, it was kind of a case of Pennsylvania raised their resident licenses and stuff, so you knew eventually New York State was going to do the same thing. I mean, it's a matter of, I don't know, they do research and everything else, whether a lot of it's wasted on stuff, who knows, there's no way we can audit it and say, well, we don't have to do this, we don't have to do that. It's, the DEC is pretty much our own little entity run by the state.
Right, and crazy as hootie, a lot of them. I mean, some of the stupid regulations, they just passed one not too long ago about minnows, right?
Yeah, that was that VHS virus, and it's kind of funny, now they're talking, they'd like to change it so you can keep the emerald shiners in the lake plain like Pennsylvania has. There's no consistency through the whole lake.
Now, what is this about the shiners?
They said there's a virus that they get a disease and they die. The shiners would be like a transport thing for hauling them up here to Chautauqua or Finley Lake or Bear Lake or wherever you wanted to go. So they said, well, you can't catch them. You can't net emerald shiners in Barcelona Harbor, and the minute you put them in your vehicle, you're illegal.
They arrest you.
They can arrest you. You're right. But, there's, which makes it tough for the perch fishermen because we've gotten used to using shiners up here and everything else, in Chautauqua. Now you can't use that. You've got to use either VHS certified that have been tested.
Which costs an arm and a leg, probably.
Yeah, or golden shiners that are imported from
China.
Arkansas, same thing, isn't it? I think they might even cause cancer in California. I don't know. Everything does. But, they make it tough. I mean, a lot of it, it's gone to the point of, there's so many rules and regulations.
Oh, of course. You got to be a lawyer to read the fishing book now, or the hunting book.
Pretty much.
You got so many different places, different laws, different times. It's insane. I can't even figure it out.
And different sections of the state. I mean, you look for even your deer season,
right,
you got
here,
the northern zone, southern
different
zone.
lakes right up here in Chautauqua.
Oh, yeah. There's different regulations for Chautauqua Lake, Lake Erie. You
got to be breaking the law somehow or the other.
It's kind of crazy. But, I mean, it's still, you throw that all aside, you're there for two reasons. One's the fun. That's number one. You've got to enjoy it. You're out, like Mort was talking about, a beautiful area. You can't beat it. I mean, you've got everything here. You've got Chautauqua Lake, which is a beautiful inland lake. Finley Lake, that's a beautiful inland lake. You've got Lake Erie, which, you ever watch a lot of these programs, has the most beautiful sunsets in the world, so they say. And it's the greatest freshwater fishery in the world.
The Lake Erie is wonderful.
So, you've got all this right here, Chautauqua County. You can't beat it. I mean, you've got hunting. This morning when I was coming up, I was about a mile south of Mayville. There was a flock of turkeys, a hen and her brood. You don't see that in other parts.
We didn't see it in the past either. When I was a kid, we never heard of a turkey up here.
But deer, you've got bear, you've got squirrels, you've got rabbits. You can hunt, you can fish. You can be active outdoors all year long because you got Chautauqua Lake in the wintertime for ice fishing. I mean, it's...
And you got muskie over there. You can't even keep one. It's not a keeper. That's 40 inches.
I tried eating muskie once, and I tell you what, if you're going for the flavor, don't do it. Unless you like real strong fish.
I thought it was just an overgrown perch, for Pete's sake.
No. It's a strong fish.
On steroids.
Pretty much, yeah. But I mean, if you're going for a fight, you've got the steelhead down in Chautauqua Creek right now, and in Barcelona Harbor.
I see them down there. They're fishing all over the place. All you have got to do is throw a piece of bait out, and they'll snap it up.
And you know what? That's the thing. You can fish just about any way you want. I mean, as far as if you want to use night crawlers when the streams are high, those work. Some guys use egg sacks. I personally use like little jigs. There's so many different ways of fishing for all these species. It isn't funny. I mean, even up here, you come up here, it's getting towards the time of year at Bemis and Long Point, you can fish for perch. And the way the perch were last year through the ice, there ought to be some nice perch this fall. I mean, through the ice last year, I had one day, I had 47 perch, and I didn't have a single one under 8.5 inches.
Now that's a small fish. How do you clean those things?
Electric fillet knife. God invented that.
Okay.
Greatest thing God invented, electric fillet knife. Basically, you just fillet it, and then with me, I flip it and I skin it, and then you just cut the rib cage out.
You skin it with the electric knife?
Yeah. Once you get used to them, it's really easy. I started years ago up in Lake Simcoe. I used to go up there perch fishing.
I did
back
too.
In the 80s.
I did too.
I
honeymooned up there in a tent.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But the lady up there at the one motel showed us how to use an electric knife to fillet fish. It's like, wait a minute, this is like 100,000 times easier than any other way we had. And like it says, it takes, it's like anything else. You've got to get used to doing
Is it a special electric knife, or is it just any old carving knife?
I started out with a regular old carving knife, but now I use like the Mr. Twisters, or Berkeley makes a pretty decent one, but it seems like the ones for fishing are a little faster than a regular household knife. And they have the specific blade for filleting fish, which I don't know, maybe it's just a marketing ploy, but it works for me.
Well, you catch your limit on 50, and I can't imagine doing 58-inch fish. Or 10-inch fish, maybe.
It doesn't take long, really. Electric knife, I mean, you're just kind of, like it says, once you get used to it, and I do it quite a bit, so, you kind of just
nothing to it.
But as far as master fisherman, boy, if I were that, I'd be really, really happy.
Well, if you catch your limit of 50, you got to know what's your secret? What do? You put a minnow on the hook and throw it over, right? Is that all?
It depends where I'm fishing. Now, if I'm fishing out on the lake, when the water's cold in early spring, I'll usually use sinker with a single hook, because they seem to be a little, I don't know, I guess you could call it hardware shy. Then, like this time of year, we use these outfits. They're called a sabiki rig. They're actually ocean rig that's set up for catching bait fish for out in the ocean. And what you do is you have to cut it in half, because by law, you're only allowed to use 3 hooks. And you cut it in half so you get 2 rigs of these, and you hook a minnow on each one of the rigs, and you can pull up, 2, 3 perch at a time. But you've got to use your fish finder when you're out on Lake Erie and find
fish. The secret is you have an electronic gadget, huh?
Which, you can go $2,500, $3,000 on these, or you can go for $100. But if you learn to read them, there's the trick. Learning to read that what you see, and trust it. What you see is fish. Then you got to anchor it, and just, a lot of it's just practice and learning.
Anchoring now, so you're not in that deep water, huh?
Right now, we're out of Northeast. We're fishing perch in about 65 foot of water.
No, that's a long anchor.
Yeah, but that's where the fish are. You can fish in 5 foot of water, but if there's no fish, you're not going to catch it. Now, right now, like if you go to Bemis or
don't take your boat over, incidentally. I read a little sign down there in Barcelona that said, before you take this boat anywhere in any other water, you've got to clean it completely, scour it, use Clorox on it, remove all water from the bilge, underside, inside, outside. Can you imagine somebody doing that whenever they take their boat over to Chautauqua?
Well, that's the zebra mussel thing. They're so worried about the zebra mussel, And the invasive species thing is real tough nut. I mean.
Well, how about those little eel-like things? Were they gobies? Or?
Gobies? Oh, that's the best bait fish in Lake Erie now. I mean,
really?
Everything's eating them. The steelhead eat them, the walleye eat them, bass eat them. Matter of fact, the one company that makes tube baits for bass has goby colored.
No kidding.
That's how popular.
And so this great threat that they were scared to death of that would eat all of the little fry of the game fish, it's the game fish that turn on them.
The table. Well, Mother Nature has a way of fixing things. I mean, it's still not a good thing. I mean, there's like the white perch population, which I personally think is ruling the walleye fishing in Chautauqua a little bit. And some of the invasive species just are a pain in the neck. You got the milfoil out here, which
what's that?
It's a weed, like a seaweed in the lake that's
just goes
tough to kill, and it just chokes off, everything. It chokes off the fish. It chokes off for the boating and everything else. So there's a lot of good reasons to be skeptical of the freighters coming in that bring the invasive species. And there should be regulations, which there are, but you got to enforce them.
Well, before they come in, they should have to clean them down without.
Well, they have regulations where they're supposed to pump out their bilge water in the ocean and change over, but it costs money.
Who does
anything that costs money, the freight industries are going to go, no, thank you. But that's another subject. I mean,
we got a phone call.
Oh, okay.
Okay, before the other subject comes up, and I have one of my own. Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting. Hello? Hello? Oh, Mort.
Somebody hit the wrong button.
Mort hits the wrong button every time. He's only been doing it 15 years. He hasn't learned yet.
Oh, well, hey.
Call back in. We'll get you.
Some of us take longer than others.
We'll give Mort a little help over there. Talking to Don Pituch. He's a fisherman who's had many years' experience, a master fisherman on Long Island. I mean, on the Long Point, Lake Erie, Lake Chautauqua, all around. You've been everywhere, huh?
No, just Lake Erie. Basically, I fished
You're Lake Erie.
Lake
mostly.
Erie, Chautauqua Lake, a little place called Bull Dam in PA once in a while. Finley once in a while, you know, but basically I just go where you get comfortable or get to know an area. And that helps